Here's how to use Microsoft Excel. Use the clickable sections below to skip through different parts of this tutorial. First, launch the program. A window will appear with various templates. These are ready-made workbooks you can choose, so you won't need to create one from scratch. To use a template, double-click on the icon. Total A-list is a popular template for shopping lists. You can choose other useful templates like this one from the homepage for other common uses such as the mortgage loan calculator and the timesheet template. All of the individual rectangles on the page are called cells. You can double-click on a cell, type some information and press Enter. That information will then be stored in the cell. At the top of the sheet, you'll see letters from A to Z. These are the columns. If you click on letter D, it'll highlight all the cells in column D. The numbers down the left-hand side indicate the rows. Click on a number to highlight the cells in a row. When using Excel, you'll want to know which cell your information is in when using formulas. Each cell is named by the column letter followed by the row number. Let's click on this cell. The column G is highlighted at the top. The row 9 is highlighted on the left. On the top left of your screen, you'll also see names of the cell here, G9. You can select multiple cells, which is useful when you need to create formulas or want to move cells around. Click on a cell and drag your cursor across other cells to select a group. Let's select all of our cost prices. We'll click on C5 and then drag down to C13. Once selected, you can hover over the edge of the selection until you see the grab icon. Click and drag to move your cells around. When using formulas in Excel, you may need to refer to a group of cells you're selecting. This is called the range. This is done by typing the name of the cell in the top left corner, followed by a colon, followed by the cell in the bottom far right corner. This range would be called C5 to H13. Open up Excel and double-click on Blank Workbook to start creating your spreadsheet. We'll start by giving our spreadsheet a title. We're making a buying report for our startup clothesline. Then we'll give each column we need a heading. Here we'll type Item, and then we'll list all our clothing items in stock below. The next column we want to add is the cost of the products. First, let's let Excel know that we're entering prices. To do this, type the cost into the cell. Double-click the cell and then click on the drop-down here and select Currency. Let's now highlight the rest of the cells we want to be in this currency and do the same thing. Continue to populate your spreadsheet with the rest of the information you need. Formulas calculate the value of cells. To create a formula, first select the cell where you want to see your answer. At the top of your screen, click on the white bar next to the FX sign. This is where the formulas are stored for each cell. You'll be able to write formulas here as well as edit them. Let's use a formula to add up the cost of our stock. First, double-click where you want the total and then type the equation in the FX bar. Always start a formula with an equals sign followed by the formula instruction. Type equals followed by sum in capital letters, followed by open bracket, followed by the range. Our range is from D5 to D13, as these are the numbers we want to total. So we'll type D5 colon D13, followed by a close bracket sign to complete the equation. Press Enter. If the formula has been entered correctly, the total will immediately be shown in the cell. If you've made a mistake, perhaps you've misspelt something, an error symbol will appear like this. Then you should go back to your FX bar and you can edit it until it's correct. Another common action used in formulas is multiply. To do this, select where you'd like to see your answer and in the FX bar type equals, followed by the cell number you want to multiply, followed by the star symbol and then the other cell you want to multiply. Press Enter. Your cell should now have the formula installed. As the formula is now installed, you can change the data in cell C5, and the answer will be corrected in E5 automatically. If you want to apply this formula to the rest of the cells in the total cost column, click on the cell where the formula is entered. Hover your cursor over the bottom right corner of the cell until you see a small black cross. Click and drag across the rest of the cells where you want the formula applied. The formula will now be copied to the remaining cells. Click on a cell and look in the FX bar to check the formula used to create the cell value. You'll see that E10 has been calculated by multiplying C10 and D10, just like in the first cell. Remember, you can edit formulas in the FX bar if you want to change any of them at any time. You can learn how to create other formulas by learning the Excel language. For example, multiply is indicated by the asterisk symbol. Divide is indicated by the / symbol. You can customize your worksheet by formatting cells. Let's start by changing the look of the title. You probably want to make it bigger or change the font and color to make it stand out. Select the title cell. Go to the Home menu at the top of the screen and select the font size from the drop-down menu. 24 looks just about right. Now you can also select your font and color. To change the color of your cells, highlight the cells and click on the paint icon from the Home menu. A drop-down menu will appear. Now you can select your color of choice. You can also add borders to your table. Highlight your cells, then go to the Home menu and click on the Border tool. A drop-down menu will appear. Select an option you want. We'll choose All Borders. Highlight your cells and explore the icons on the home page to try different formatting options to customize your workbook. A table is a specific set of rows and columns that you can apply functions to, such as adding filters, formatting, or creating graphs. Let's turn our buying report for our fashion startup into a table. First, highlight the cells you want to add to your table. Click on Insert, then click on Table. If your cells include headings, check the My Table Has Headers box, then click OK. Your cells will now be turned into a table. On the top right corner of the screen, under the Table section, you'll see a series of coloured designs. Choose the one you like and you'll see your table change. You can expand the size of your table by amending the number of columns or rows in it. To do this, hover your cursor over the bottom right corner of the table and click and drag the black arrowed square across the columns or rows you want to be added to your table. The sort and filter features on tables help to organise your data. Click on the drop-down arrow next to one of the headings. A pop-up will appear. Next to Sort, click on Ascending. The table will now be arranged in ascending order of retail prices. Now use the filter function by unchecking one of these boxes. This will hide all the items on the table that are $182.50. A bar graph is a visual way to present your data. Let's say you want to see how profitable your denim stock is in a bar chart. We want to show the profit margin values against the different denim clothing items. Select all the denim clothing items in the column, then press and hold down the Command or Control button on your keyboard and select the sales profit values. Once you have selected all the data, click on the Insert tool on the top menu, then select the bar graph. A pop-up window will appear with bar graph design options. Select the one you want by clicking on it and your graph will appear. You can double-click on the chart title and type in the heading you want to give your chart. Under the Chart Design section, you can customize your bar graph. Click on the drop-down arrow by the Quick Layout icon and select a design to add X-axis and Y-axis titles. To change your graph to a different kind of chart, you can click on the drop-down arrow beside the Change Chart Type icon and select a different type of graph.